Pratham NGO works towards improving the quality of education in India. It also works towards addressing gaps in the educational landscape. It supplements government's efforts in the education sector through inexpensive, quality, and easily adoptable interventions. For grassroots mobilization, training, and monitoring, Pratham NGO collaborates with government, local communities, parents, teachers, volunteers, civil society, women's organizations, and self help groups. It focuses on developing testing tools for measuring children's learning levels, which helps determine the course of action best suited for the child and the impact assessment. Surveys facilitated by the Pratham NGO are the foundation for the Annual Status of Education Report, in short, ASER. According to its website, ASER is India's largest citizen-led survey. Also, ASER is the only source of information to gauge the annual learning outcomes of children. Random household sampling takes place in all rural districts to obtain information on the schooling status and the basic learning levels of children in the age bracket 3 to 16 years. It is pertinent to note that it is not a school-based survey. Instead, it is a household-based survey. It makes sense. A household-based survey would provide holistic coverage by including children who have never been to school, who have dropped out of school, and even those who attend religious schools. Also, a household-based survey collects basic household information like household size, parental education, household assets, etc. Since its inception in 2005, the Annual Status of Education Report throws light on foundational reading and basic arithmetic skills of children. It tracks right to education indicators and provides insights on the school infrastructure, child enrollment and attendance, teachers, fund flows, etc. Such inputs facilitate central and state governments to formulate education policy. Due to the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic, phone-based surveys replaced household-based surveys in 2020 and 2021. The phone-based surveys aimed to explore the accessibility of learning opportunities of children. It would enable us to gauge the impact of the pandemic on schools, families, children, and formulate nationally representative data. ASER 2021 describes the ramifications of the pandemic on learning. It is a fact that the COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated equity gaps across all sectors. The marginalized sections of society suffered the most as a result of this. No accessibility to smartphones led to learning losses in the lowest rung of society. When schools reopened after several disruptions, private school enrollments declined and government school enrollments increased. The report also highlights the ascending dependence on private tuitions. The stark digital divide is adversely affecting the learning abilities of primary grades. Data tells us that government school enrollments declined since 2006 before stabilizing around 65% by 2018. After 2018, there has been a clear shift from private to government school enrollments. It resulted in a jump of 5 percentage points in government school enrollments, which reached 70% in 2021. Average data of all classes reveal that more than 25% of children didn't have accessibility to a smartphone, whereas around 50% of children could access smartphones sometimes. Teachers faced hurdles such as low attendance and connectivity issues. Moreover, the difficulty in adjusting to the sudden shift from classroom teaching to online teaching was evident. The report mentioned the decline in help from families with an increase in grade, especially 11th and 12th. A survey of more than 75,000 households revealed that around 40% of children now seek private tuition. Increasing dependence on private tuition is the norm, especially among children from humble backgrounds. One-third of children of classes 1 and 2 neither have exposure to an in-person class nor do they have an experience of pre-primary classes or Anganwadis. A lack of access to digital devices adds up to their vulnerability. Such children are falling behind, which isn't a good signal for India's formal education. We need urgent addressing of this issue to preclude losses in learning outcomes. The National Achievement Survey put forth the grim reality that primary grade children lagged in basic comprehension and numerical skills. A silver lining in ACER 2021 is the decline in the dropout of 15 to 16 age group children. More than 90% of enrolled children had textbook availability for their current grade. Well-off families have better teacher contact relative to marginalized families, which expedited the discussion of learning outcomes. The pandemic has disrupted all sectors, including education. Household earnings have taken a substantial hit. Children are among the most severely affected groups. We need special efforts to undo this harm. Interstate variability is conspicuous in access to online education. Assessment of current learning levels by teachers is a prerequisite to designing the curriculum. Mitigation of pandemic-caused financial distress is a necessity. COVID-19 protocols monitoring is indispensable. Abating interstate variations and study material deficiency is a priority. Careful monitoring, hand in hand with COVID-19 appropriate behaviors, is a need of the hour to preserve long-term gains in school education. Hope you found this session useful. Thank you.